Hi, everyone. Wanted to do a quick update, a quick overview of the updates that are due next week. As a reminder, teams that had their check-ins on Wednesday, they have it due Monday and end of Monday, and the teams had to check-in on Thursday, they have it due end of Tuesday to give you equal time. So there are three things that are due. One is this training validation split pairs. Last update, you had the parameters for this. What's your outcome label window? How far back was your max training history? How far back are you going? And how much are you moving forward? How far back your features are going, and how much you're moving forward within to update the model. Now, this is an instantiation of those parameters. So what we're looking for is the most recent six or up to six. Some projects may not have six train validation pairs. And so here, this is going to be the most recent one. Let's say if you have data up to May 2010 for your rows. So this is going to be the first date for your first row in your training set. And then this is going to be the last date for the rows. And then this one is how often are you repeating this entity in your training and test rows, for example. In this case, it's the training rows, right? So for example, if you are doing inspections and each facility is getting inspected every year, or each active facility is inspected every year, then you're going to put interval could be, if it's just one training set, the interval could be 0 because you're not repeating it ever again in that training set. But if you're doing, let's say, predictions on bills, each active bill, it gets introduced on day 1, so you have a row for that. And then day 2, you if you want to train again and predict again, then you would have 1 day. Bill 1 on day 1, bill 1 on day 2, bill 1 on day 3. So this is going to be how often, what's the frequency at which your each entity, each student, or each facility, or each voter, or each bill is being trained on. So this could be 0, where you're just doing it once. This could be 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, depending on your formulation. This is going to be a start date for your labels, right? And here it's the same as start date for your rows, but the end date for the labels goes out. So this is kind of, remember again, the rectangles, the time rectangles that we do, where here the date for your rows, and then your labels are here, and then that becomes your training set. And then your validation set is over here, and then you keep shifting. So that's kind of what we're expecting here. And then and the same things over here. So for example, in the validation set, it could be that you're saying, I'm going to be predicting the score likelihood that the bill passes within 6 months, but I'm going to be doing every day since they get introduced up to the time that they are still active. And so if you're doing it every day, then it becomes prediction 1 day. You could decide you want to train on once a week or once a month, but your testing is the one that matches your formulations. You kind of have to match that, as we've talked about in our check-ins. So that's this table where you're instantiating the parameters from last time, which is and filling it out in here. The next one is really your V0 results, which is just remind us what your row is. And remember, again, specifically, your row is an entity or a date that's indexing each row. What is the label or outcome? And then so this is not all the things that you're doing. This is really for the graph you're going to show. The results you're showing for V0, what was the training set for that? In this case, for example, it might be my features and my rows come from this state, this range, and my labels come from this range, right? So it's has 1 year at the end. So this is not all the training sets that you have. It's really the one you're showing us results for. Same for the corresponding, you've trained on this, you're validating on this, and what are the models that you have run, and then which one are you showing, and then what metric do you care about here. and show it for a baseline and show it for one of the models. And then take a couple of the models that you've built and show the precision recall graph. And it could be that one of them is a baseline model that you've built, which is ranking by, let's say, GPA or the sponsor or previous inspections or previous voting history. And the other one is the one that you've built a machine learning model on. So again, what we're expecting here is take one one validation set, build a model, calculate a specific metric that you care about, but also these precision recall K curves, specify all the choices here, and then show us a couple of these graphs. And it should be one of these training validation sets, right? And then this is going to be a recurring thing that's to tell us what you've changed in your pipeline, so that also as a way to share with the rest of the teams on what you're doing, and if they see something useful and interesting as it's already happening, you're sort of sharing some of these things and people are adopting different choices that your team may have made. So that should be it. Let us know if you have any questions. I have office hours today, so I wanted to set this up before so that if there are questions, you can come and ask in office hours. But we've got, this is a table for your training test pairs, training validation pairs. This is the results for your V0. You might have more at this point, but just don't show everything here. Just pick one training, one validation, one metric, and then these graphs for a couple of them. As I said, ideally one baseline and one machine learning model. So that's it.